show you how you can make 10K in profit from one client every single month with just one skill. And I know that this is not the first video you've clicked on with a title like this, and it probably won't be the last, but I'm hoping it will be the most impactful, because I want to break the belief that you have to start a whole new business from scratch in order to make money online, because that simply isn't true. And I want to show you the flip side of that and what you should do, and what I wish I did years and years ago when I first started that would have saved me years. And I genuinely mean years. Now, if you're new here, my name is Marcus Gahuli. I've been in the online business space for around 5 years now, and I currently run 2 7-figure companies, a marketing agency and a coaching program called Club Closer, which have helped over 350 guys get into online sales and make upwards of 10K a month in profit. But my goal in this video is not to sell you on my coaching program. If you wanted to be sold on that, you can head to my website. But I simply just want to show you the logic behind why starting an online business from scratch is not the way to go, and why focusing in on one skill can make you a lot of money a lot quicker. Now, I first want to tackle that, big shiny object in the corner of the room, which is starting that whole new business from scratch. Whether that be dropshipping, that be a marketing agency, a content agency, copywriting, growth partner, community, whatever your poison may be. For me, it was marketing agencies, and it's which had me stuck at $0 for at least 2 years. And I essentially like to, and I'm going to illustrate this for you in a simple way. So I like to look at a business as a big old machine, because businesses essentially are big old machines. And if you look at this diagram here, this is a business, right? And this business might be, let's call it 10K a month. So all of these cogs have to turn in order for the business to, make money, okay? And what do each of these cogs represent is they each represent a certain skill or a certain thing that needs to happen in order to get that end outcome of that 10K a month. So the first one, what's the first thing you do when you start a business? Well, you need to lead gen. Let's call that lead gen. Then you might need to outreach. Then you might need to appointment set. Then you need to sell / close. Then you need to onboard. Then you might need to, deliver the client results, obviously. And this is just a marketing agency example. And then from there, you probably want to start building a team, because you need the team in order to, get the results. And then from there, you obviously need management skills. And then from there, you need probably accounting skills. And then you probably need client relations. So very messy, I know, but each of these is a certain skill set you need to learn in order for your business to run and actually make money. And the thing is, if you're a beginner and you've never started a business before, you've got very limited business experience, and you're jumping in the deep end and trying to do all this, you have to learn each of these skills in order to get that end outcome of making money, right? So you have to learn all these skills at the same time. And what's the famous saying goes is, jack of all trades, master of none. And the problem is, when you're trying to learn all these skills at the same time, you're not going to be very good at them. And that's why you see a lot of people trying to start marketing agencies or trying to start dropshipping businesses. Really, this applies to any online business model. I'm just using the marketing agency as an example because it's the one, I've got experience with. Coaching businesses, anything. You see a lot of people stuck either with 0 clients, or they're making sort of 1 to 4K a month revenue, right? And the thing is because they're not very good at any of these skills, they're all just okay and mediocre. They can't really charge a high price. For example, I pay a marketing agency 10K a month, right? And that's 10K a month revenue to them. So because they're good, they've got the best results, they're very good at what they do. So you might only be able to charge 2K retainer for your first few clients, right? Because you haven't got the results, you haven't got the skill set. You probably can't generate the same results that this 10K a month retainer client can, or 10K a month agency. But if we break this down, these are just revenue numbers as well. And people don't really realize this is, you should never look at a business, or you should never really value the amount of money you make on the amount of money you make. It should be on the money you keep. So I'm more interested in profit. I want this to be profit always. I don't care if I make $1 million this month. If I only keep £1 of it, it means nothing, right? You need your business to be profitable. So this 10K a month agency, for example, and we're just going to peg you versus them, right? So they probably have maybe 3K of staffing fees that go into that every month, and maybe they've got like another $1,000 software on top of that. And then you could ignore tax and everything, but let's say they take home 6K profit from my 10K, which is pretty good. Now you, at the start, you might take home all 2K, but there's no way you're going to be able to manage all those clients if you get, so you still need 10 clients. So these guys need 2 clients to get to the 10K a month in profit. You're going to need at least 5. And when you get that many, you're probably not going to be able to do everything. So you're going to have staffing costs. I think your staffing costs are going to be at least 1,000. 1K. Your staffing costs are going to be at least 1K. So really you're going to be left with 1K profit. So you actually don't need 5. You're going to need 10 clients at the start, and maybe, look, I'll be nice, 5 to 10, because you'll probably increase your prices once you go up. But this all takes time. So you're going to need 5 to 10 clients in order to get to 10K a month in profit with this business model, which is a hell of a lot of work, especially if you're, you have a 9-5 job, you're studying, you're doing something else on the side, and this is the thing you really want to double down on. Now, a lot of people tell you to quit your jobs and go all in with this kind of stuff. That's tough. You can't necessarily do that all the time. So managing 5 to 10 clients whilst managing a full-time job, like it's not super manageable. So it's a hard business to get into, and it's hard to get results. Now, the upside is infinite. I've never want to deter someone from starting their own business, but as a beginner, this is a very hard way to scale and a very hard way to make money. So I don't recommend you start a business. So if we really think about it, and if we really think back to the reason you actually thought about starting this thing, right? And you thought about starting a business, the goal is to make money. That is the sole reason you're even looking at starting a business, or you might have even started a business. That's the only thing you're thinking about. So the goal is to make money. You want to make sure you're spending your time in the most effective way possible in order to achieve that. Not necessarily to do it relatively quickly, but one that is also sustainable for a long time, and one you can continue to build on that will allow you to make more and more and more as time goes on. So if you look back at this ugly drawing, in order for you to make money, you need all these cogs to work in unison and to work together in order to get that end outcome of making money. And you have to remember the main reason you started in the first place was to make money, because you wanted a certain outcome, and you want a certain outcome, whether that's working remotely, whether that's paying for your parents' mortgage, whether that's quitting your 9-5, whether that's, saving for the future, buying a house, whatever it is, living a life you deserve, you could deserve. There's a reason you started this business. So we want to make sure you're doing it in an effective way, right? And the most effective way I found, and I know works for people, is instead of trying to do this whole business route and this whole model yourself, which, as we've discussed, is pretty inefficient, you essentially just want to get good at one high value skill and be one component of someone else's machine in the start. And the biggest and best component you can really focus on is sales. Now, sales is the core of every single business in existence, in time. Sales was around before money. People exchanged meat for fish, cloth for corn, like whatever. It's the most core and fundamental business skill anybody needs in order to have a successful business. And if there's one bit of information you take away from this video, it's focusing on one of these skills, and I recommend it's sales. It's going to be the better route for you. It's going to be a hell of a lot easier to get to that 10K a month mark just by being a killer at sales and focusing on this one skill to begin with. And I get it, like everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, right? Nobody wants to work for anyone anymore. But I wish my arrogant self did this when I first started. Instead of battling on my own with this model, this complex beast for 2 years with having little to no success. Because by learning these high value skills, such as sales, and providing these high value skills for other businesses, you're going to be able to scale a lot quicker, and you're going to be able to take that information you learn in the short term, take that capital, and then go and apply it in your own machine later down the line when you're way more equipped. So, as I said, there are already businesses that are set up like this, and there are businesses that are doing millions a month with this model. All you have to be is one component for them, the sales component, and you'll get paid a pretty decent whack. So, as we've discussed, a lot of these businesses with scale run pretty lean, like a 50, 60, 70% profit margin isn't uncommon. And the most important component that actually brings in all that money is ultimately sales. And it's the sales reps, it could be the copywriters, it could be the people in the DMs, but ultimately it's the guys on the phone, it's the guys on the Zoom calls that are actually selling people. And these people are called high ticket closers. Now, these people run ads. So if we were to use this model, so their kind of lead source, their outbound, their marketing as such is paid ads. Now these paid ads get people to book calls, and then when they book calls, those sales reps take calls and they close them for obviously money. So the sales reps are the closest to the money, hence why they're paid so well. So these businesses, these online businesses could be anything. They could be agencies that charge retainers of, 10K a month. They could be coaching businesses that charge anywhere from 5 to 50K for a product. They could be consultancy businesses. They could be masterminds. They could be mentors and coaches. Their price points can vary from monthly retainers of, 3,000, 4,000, all the way up to one-off payments of 6 figures. And the sales reps on average get around 10% of this. So if you think about it, if you're able to sell for a company that have a product, let's call that, say the price point of the product is 5K, right? And you're making 10% of that. So for every single sale you make, you're going to be making $500, right? That $500 is straight profits. That's your commission. That is your take home. And all you've had to do in order to make that $500 is jump on a 1-hour Zoom call with a prospect, convince them that joining their program, working with the company that you're selling for is the right decision. And that company, to a degree has to be good and has to have good results, obviously. Otherwise, you don't want to work for them. But in order to get to this sort of 1 mil a month number, some of these companies you can work for could even do 50K a month. And they can still make a decent amount. But let's say you sold a 5K product. You've made 10% commission. Your take home is 500. All you've got to do is close 20 people a month equals your 10K a month, right? And it really is that simple. And all you have to do is take these sales calls and close these prospects. There is no service delivery. There is no client results. There are no accountancy or team building or leadership. It is simply focusing in on these one skills, and that is going to get you to your 10K a month. That is it. That's all you need to focus on. Whereas if you were to do this in your own business, as we discussed, you'd have to, work with at least 10 clients. You'd have to do the whole process for them. And as we said, you probably have another offset, another client coming off here, another client coming off here, another one here, maybe one off here. It would get really complicated, right? Whereas by just focusing on sales, you're able to do so and get to 10K a month by just closing 20 people. And how I got to that 20 people? Well, it's just that times 20, isn't it? Equals 10K per month. And all you're focusing on is that one skill of sales. And it really is that simple, right? Like, many people try and overcomplicate it. They try and start their own business. But if you lock in on one skill, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I want to say it again and again so it really drills into you. By just taking one component of this whole business machine, getting really good at it in the short term, doubling down, learning how to sell well, working for a good company, being that one cog, and then taking those sales skills, let it down the line, and then building your own sort of machine off the back of it, it's going to have you hitting 10K a month way, way quicker. And I know this because I've worked with over 350 sales reps that have done just that, and that have focused in on one cog of this whole machine, focused in on one skill and scaled to 10, 20. We even have some clients making 30K a month by just being one component of a whole business. And that's really what I'd recommend for you in the short term. Now, as I said, I'm not here to sell you my coaching program, just going to break this down as simply as possible for you and really break that belief that you need a whole business in order to make a lot of money online. It's simply not true. If you want to learn exactly how to do this, you can check out all the other videos on my YouTube. I've got ones of how to find jobs, how to get good at sales, how to navigate the industry. You can take all that information, you can apply it and you can learn. Or, if you really did want me to sell to you, you can go check out my website.